So people tend to think that religion, and especially Christianity, is all about making sure everything turns out alright when you die. But that does lead to an interesting question. What exactly does the Bible say happens when you die? The answer to that is not necessarily what you might expect.
What happens when you die? When your last breath leaves your lungs? When your heart stops beating? When your brain neurons stop firing? What happens? Is that it? Does your soul go somewhere? Do you live on forever in heaven or in hell? Are you reborn into another living being? Do you cease to exist? Or is there something more? Among Christians, there is a fair amount of debate on the subject. Some Christians believe you are instantly judged and your soul and consciousness are immediately sent to either heaven or hell. Others believe that you have no consciousness at all. Your body goes back to dust and God's life-giving breath is returned to Him. Scripture tells us that humans die because of sin. We have all sinned, and the Bible tells us the wages of sin is death. Sin separates us from God, the giver of all life, and humans cannot sustain life without God, so we all must die. But we are told that when a person dies, they know nothing, and that they feel no emotions. Jesus and his disciples often actually called death sleep. This implies that while death may be the end of our life on earth, it isn't the end of the story. Jesus gives us hope when he says one day he will return to earth to take those who have died and those alive to heaven. Those that were faithful to Christ in life will be resurrected first, and then those who are alive will join them. Those that were unfaithful will remain asleep for another 1,000 years before they are resurrected and judged. Once the final judgment occurs, those that refused Christ will be thrown into the lake of fire, Revelation 20:14, thus experiencing a second and final death. The righteous will be granted immortality, and God will create a new earth for them to live in, free of sin and death and pain forever. Death has always been shrouded in mystery and surrounded by fear and uncertainty. But the Bible offers a clear understanding of what takes place when you die. The bottom line is that death is not the end, but rather a time when we know and feel nothing. The time before Jesus returns to earth at the second coming. We know that we will be judged on whether or not we followed Christ, and that for those who are faithful to Christ, death is not something to fear, for He has promised to resurrect us and to take us to heaven to live with Him for eternity.